We know that early involvement encourages our new members to interact with our veterans. As we engage and get to know these new recruits, they become more comfortable with our club. Mentoring also plays a huge part in building that comfort. This session will speak to several other aspects of getting members involved during their first year and beyond. A club is not static. They are constantly evolving as the membership and the world around it changes. That's why it's so important to get new members involved from the very start. When we think of winning teams, we identify with how a person's strengths and skills will add to the success of the overall group. With each new project and each new member, your team gets to take advantage of how new skills, new opportunities, and new ideas will impact them. These things are all required if our clubs are going to change, improve, and grow. Simply getting a member to sign on the dotted line and pay their dues does not mean your work is done. One of the first things a member needs to understand is the purpose of your club. After all, organizations succeed or fail according to how committed the individuals are to fulfilling its mission. But how do we achieve this? First and foremost, the purpose should be constantly reflected in your member communications, especially early on with your newest members. Next, make sure that your members, especially your leadership, are able to state your mission and that it is part of your membership recruitment and engagement strategies. Finally, look to other clubs to see how Sertoma's mission is conveyed with their membership. One of the most highly stated criticism that new members have is that they feel like there are cliques within a club. It can leave them feeling uncomfortable and like they don't fit in. This is where a club can get a bad reputation of being nothing more than a good old boys club. Now, of course, that is rarely intentional. Most clubs are honorable and don't mean to exclude others. Members just have a long history of shared experiences. However, as we reminisce over things that have happened in the past, those who have not shared those experiences can feel left out. Now let's take a step back. Before we get our new members involved, we want to make sure that we've created an environment that overall encourages participation in the first place. Let's look at committees as an example. When you assign or delegate a responsibility to your team, assign it fully. You have to let them make the decisions on how their responsibilities will be completed. Clear expectations on the front end will ensure that your volunteers have the resources they need to be successful and stay within budget. Remember, no micromanaging. When we show our members, including those in their first year, that we value their skills and talents, continued active participation is sure to follow. Earlier in this presentation, we used the term team in relation to your club and committees. Something about the word team truly does say it's all of our responsibility to make this work. Remember that all of your members are volunteers, trying to do the best they can for your team and community. You won't all think alike, which is totally okay because it's what allows your members to do the same things in different ways. But knowing that you're all in it for the right reason dictates how you'll treat each other, and that united heart is what makes us successful in our service to others. People must believe in the organization and have a passion for what they're being asked to do. Oftentimes, people join your group because of an activity they've participated in as a non-member or one that you've invited them to and they've seen how much fun and passion your club has. But if you have not clarified the purpose behind what you do, you might find that people have an easy excuse to not get involved. After all, not every activity our clubs do will appeal to everyone. That's why it's important to offer a variety of volunteer opportunities so that people can be involved how they want to be involved. These tips may not seem groundbreaking, but sometimes it's the common sense that escapes us. Use these next 2 slides as a review and as your basic checklist for building member involvement. As we've said many times throughout this video, you need to make sure that everyone is on the same page when it comes to your club's mission and vision. Next, you want to make sure that your committees are empowered to make decisions. Be inclusive. Everyone has a place in your organization, and it's your job to help them find it. Be patient. It takes time to be successful. Be transparent when and where you can. Members should have the information and resources necessary to do the jobs asked of them. Know that things change. Have a plan B and make sure that everyone knows what it is. Be available. Questions are going to come up, so make sure to answer them. And don't forget to seek help when you need it. Sertoma has a ton of resources available in its member center at sertoma.org. The member-only Facebook group can also be a great place to seek advice from other clubs. Now that we have our members involved, how do we keep them that way? It comes down to 4 keys: encourage, support, reward, and celebrate. We often see our members forget why they joined Sertoma in the first place. We've all heard members say, "I didn't join to get an award." But to honor your members for all the hours and financial commitments they are giving is the right thing to do. It's especially important to recognize them to members of the public. After all, what they are doing is not for Sertoma, it's for the betterment of your shared community. Let me share an activity you can take back to your club. This might be best fit for your membership committee or as a board activity. Discussion fostered through these questions can help you set your involvement goals and the strategies that will get you there. Can there be big egos on a productive team? How do you manage technically brilliant team members? How do you harness the talents of super smart, tough personalities without letting them derail or dominate your team? Do we really listen when a team member is asked for ideas? And how do you get the good old boys or girls to give a new member a chance? What other questions should you ask? In summary, consider these 3 statements. These ideas are paramount to building member involvement from the very beginning of a member's tenure. Get the buy-in up front. Once you confirm what is expected for the outcome, let them find their own path to get there. And finally, turn them loose on their ideas. Empower your volunteers. You never know what's going to come up as a result. So is there a learning curve? Absolutely. But don't allow the naysayers to derail what could be new and exciting opportunities for your club. This concludes today's presentation. You can find additional resources and video trainings on membership and other important topics on the Club Resources page of members.sertoma.org.